How come when I clap for the audio syncing, why do you like I'm gonna hit you?
Well, no,
I'm like half your size.
Let me clap.
If I fucking hit you, you're gonna be fine.
But if I let me clap, turn your head and let me clap real hard and see if it hurts.
Clap. I'll hold the mic.
No.
What about that hurts?
I don't know. I just feel like you're gonna get a little too close and it rumbles. Well, you probably have a damaged eardrum from being an audio engineer for so long, and like being in band and stuff.
That's true.
So your eardrums might be a little like used to it. Like I'm not used to it. Like I don't play like loud ass music, and I don't have drums in my ear for like 14 years.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I know you have some things planned for this episode, but before we get into any of it, I have a conundrum. Okay. So I saw this online, and for the past couple days I've been thinking about it. I would argue I just took a trip to Boston, and it almost ruined my trip.
Oh,
because
this single thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you ever make hot dogs before?
Yes.
And you know how there's like two ways you can make them. You could grill them, or you could like boil them, right?
Yeah.
Like in New York, the street vendors, they have boiled, like they call them the dirty water dogs.
Dirty water dogs. Yeah.
Is the water that the hot dogs are boiled in, right? Is that considered tea after the hot dogs are boiled? Because like tea is like herbs or like other things in boiled water, right?
Are
like
hot dogs
water.
herbs?
Well, there are other things that can be in tea, like roots and stuff, or like cinnamon isn't necessarily an herb, but that can be in tea.
From? Is cinnamon? Where do we get?
I mean, it's a plant, but
okay.
But like, there's other thing. Or that. So I asked Crystal this, and her argument was broth for like soups and stuff like that. There's like chicken broth, or there's like beef broth. You know,
but that's a soup, not a tea.
Or well, that's broth. But what would the hot dog water be broth?
But then that would be more of a category of soup, not tea.
Yeah,
tea is with herbs or plant-based stuff.
I feel like there could be tea with like some sort of like animal matter in it. I don't know, like
no,
if there is. Like, can we look this up? Can we confirm? I think you could make the argument that the hot dog water is tea.
What is the definition of tea? Tea, a hot drink made by infusing the dried, crushed leaves of the tea plant in boiling water.
Okay, but like cinnamon will be in tea.
But you're crushing it.
But it's not a leaf.
It didn't say leaf here.
You just said leaf.
Infused by dried, crushed, leaves of the tea plant in boiling water. Yes, but your hot dog on hot water, that's considered a soup more than a tea.
So are you making the argument that the hot dog water is soup?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
It would be more of a soup, yes, than a tea.
The hot dog water
is a soup.
Is a soup.
It's more of a soup than a tea.
You wouldn't say it's a broth either. You're saying it's a soup.
Well, what is it? Can you use broth on tea?
What's a broth?
Can you use broth on tea?
I'll search what a broth is.
Hold up. Would you use broth on a tea?
No.
That is the question.
No, that's not. Broth is different.
Okay. But would you use broth on tea or soup?
Give me a sec. Broth. Soup consisting of meat or vegetable chunks and often rice cooked in stock. Okay.
So hot dog water would be a soup, not a tea.
Would be a broth or a soup.
Would be a soup, not a tea. A tea is with leaves and like crushed up dried like leaves and plants. Teas, that's what tea is. This would be considered a soup.
But the hot dog water is just a boiled hot dog. Like that's it. Like it's just the water from the boiled
Yeah,
hot
that's soup.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Hot dog water.
Hot dog water is a soup.
Hot dog water. Is
Now
soup.
back to the regularly scheduled program.
Alrighty. So we're gonna jump into the week of the news because I have been neck deep into this event that's happened in Rocket League and how Epic just ruined Rocket League.
They ruined it. I've been away, so Ennis took the lead on this episode.
I'm taking the lead on this one this time.
So the news that he's presenting is a big surprise to me.
Yes, and all I'm gonna say is R.I.P.
Does this have anything to do with the trading in Rocket League?
No, this has nothing to do with trading. This is the esports side of it.
Esports.
So, the RLCS, the esports, is dying because Epic decides to make some questionable decisions. What apparently they're doing now is they came out with the roadmap of 2024. So they're like, hey, here's a roadmap for the 2024. But everything they're doing is bad. So here's the thing, right?
What does that mean?
Everything about it is bad. So for example, here's some of the things. The new prize pool for World Championships used to be 6 million. Now they're lowering it to 4.3 million. Okay. So they're lowering the prize pool overall.
That's still 4.3 million.
Of like 16 teams, and then the org might take a chunk, and then players, and then all that.
Okay,
so.
but it can't only be the prize money. Yeah. That's bad.
They're also basically removing a third of the season. So you only get 2 majors and a world championship now. So you get basically like they said it was 4 to 5 months off. And it's just like 4 to 5 months of no competition, which
How long was the Rocket League season before?
Like a whole year, like the actual whole year. And then you get maybe like 1 or 2 months off. But players wanted that. It's like, fine, okay, we get a month or 2 off, but then we go back into competition.
Okay.
So they removed a third of the season. And now, so I asked the guy who is in the scene, and his name is Bob, so shout out to him. So I asked him questions like, hey, can you explain to me literally everything that's going on? And he's like, sure. So this is what he says. The new format makes the World Championship play in an open qualifiers every event, which previously top teams would automatically be put into the top 16 without needing to qualify. Basically, the esport form, basically like Fortnite now. They're trying to make Rocket League like Fortnite esports. And it's
so you have to compete in a qualifier no matter what.
Yeah,
like,
there's no partner teams anymore. You have to open qualifier every time.
Interesting.
So I mean, it works good in CS, but CS is a different structure than Rocket League. It's a different everything than Rocket League. So, and
that's like how Valorant used to be.
Mm-hmm. So also he told me another thing is, so in the region like SAM, last season they would only have 57 teams sign up to compete in the RLCS for the new top 60. Now it's a top 64 team will make money. So for example, if you're a bunch of bronze players, you could sign up and make a few dollars just by signing up and getting last place.
So they're basically just paying for like time spent in tournament, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So the good thing is that if you're top 16, you're still going to be making the same money no matter what. But it's just more like you lowered the prize pool overall, and then you decided to make it like open qualifier instead of like, okay, for example, like G2 and M80. They're all like, they're partner teams, but now they're not partnered anymore. They have to go to the open qualifier. Even if you make it to the finals, you have to still go back and make it to the open qualifiers. There's no invitation anymore, which is like kind of sucks. But like there was always an open qualifier beforehand, but now because even if you're the good team or the top 10 team, you still have to go through open qualifier. You don't get that privilege of qualifying automatically because you're already good. And you have the same team. And then they're lowering the prize pool. They're making an open qualifier, everything, and they removed a third of the season, literally a third of the season. So there's less tournaments now.
Well,
so
I guess if the teams are actually good enough, it shouldn't be a problem, though, right?
Yeah, but like if you've seen through open qualifiers, like remember when Valorant had open qualifiers?
I thought it was just hard to follow. I'm not necessarily like.
Well, now it's gonna be hard to follow too. If you want to Rocket League.
Well, I'm saying like I'm not necessarily against like the system of open qualifiers and stuff. Like I think that's fine, but it just makes it it's tough to follow because So I'm kind of happy that Valorant like moved to the franchise thing, because then it's like, okay, these teams are in the circuit. I don't know why Rocket League is switching to that after it's been an esport for like 8 years now or something.
Yeah,
Like,
10 years actually. I think it's almost about to hit 10 years if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, like
But-
2014 or
Yeah,
something.
2014, I think it was,
think.
yeah. But like now it's like, why are you what he basically ran it down to is like they're trying to make it like Fortnite. And if you see the esport in Fortnite, which is basically non-existent and garbage for the most part.
Fuck Fortnite.
No build mode is kind of fun, but everything else is fun. But
Fuck Fortnite.
fuck the competitive scene, yeah. And like, why would you want to do that? Like, it had a perfect system. You got invited teams because you already made it far or you qualified before, and it had a good prize pool. Why remove it? And then on top of that, you remove the other side of the community where the trade market and the skin market is. You remove that also. So like it just, I feel like they're just making it like they're trying to. Oh, we're trying to. They just feel like they're going to compete with Steam. Whether you're no need to. You're making changes that don't need to be changed. When you already have, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and Epic's had Rocket League for like a minute now.
Yeah.
like a while. So
Yeah, so why are you touching stuff and making it? You're already making so much money from Fortnite. Why are you lowering the prize pool? And you're making it like open qualify. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's stupid, in my opinion. They should have partner teams. Like, I mean, at least Apex.
franchise? Just franchise like how Valorant is.
Oh, also Apex has like partner teams where they automatically qualify also, or like they're guaranteed into like qualifications or closed qualifiers. Just do something like that. Like, hey, for example, G2, M80, V1, Furia, like for example, those teams. Okay, you guys are partner teams. You qualify. But then we're gonna save up. We're gonna save like 6 to 10 slots for open qualifiers. Boom! You have the best of both worlds. You have a qualified team, and then you have the open qualifier if you like a group of friends want to try to qualify. But that's the issue, and Rocket League is dying. So, and then pros are even saying like, if this is staying, I'm quitting Rocket League competitively.
Yeah.
So, congratulations! Now you're losing the pro content creators and all that. Lovely.
The last piece of news: Matt Pett is retiring from being the host of Game Theory after, I think he said 13 years.
Yeah, that dude was our childhood. That dude was there for a minute.
I remember the first FNAF Theory.
Yeah, and that shit still blew. And we still don't know what the FNAF.
And I still don't know what any of the lore means.
Oh yeah, there's too many videos. I think someone actually made a compilation of all the FNAF lores in one video, but that's like 4 hours long, and I'm not watching that whole last. It's longer than the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But yeah, he said his last thing was March 9th. He said that's his last theory.
Yeah.
He has 9 more theories, and after that, he's officially done like being the actual theorist and on the screen and everything. He said that he's done with that. But the behind the scenes and
Yeah, he
creative
said
side,
he's still going to be part of it.
he's still gonna be part of it, like the creative team and all that. But as like the theorist who says everything, he's done with it. He's leaving it to other people, and yeah. So best of luck. And now let's see how many more YouTubers quit, because now there's
a couple people. He mentions the Tom Scott guy.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen his videos, he makes like random like knowledge-y kind of things. Like, but he's quitting. He's pretty big. Captain Sparkles quit earlier.
But he quit for Minecraft on his main channel. That's what he said he's quitting. So again, it's basically him quitting, but he's quitting Minecraft on his main channel. So he's not doing Minecraft anymore on his main channel. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. 13 years or so, I'm done. And the Jacksepticeye wants to pull our leg. He's like, damn, now I've realized I've been kind of doing this for a little too long too.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, please don't. Me personally, I feel like YouTube went downhill, or people started like retiring, and kind of when PewDiePie was like, hey, I'm kind of done with YouTube, like on my own. I'll just post whenever I feel like it, but I'm done like forcing myself to post YouTube, because he has like a wife now, he's a kid,
Yeah.
he lives in Japan. He's like, you know what, I have everything I need, I have the money I need.
I also
I'm
just
done.
feel like a lot of YouTube is just getting so big, if that makes sense. So like, of course there are gaming channels and stuff that are going up, but I feel like the gaming YouTubers aren't as much a thing, and it's like multi-platform content creators are what
Yeah,
it is.
Or
So like
people-
streamers and stuff like that.
streamers will post clips on YouTube, so it's like it's easier for them. So
Like I feel like YouTube was pretty big. Like even in high school, I remember coming home and watching like YouTubers that I liked in like 2016 to 2018 ish. But like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the era of like once TikTok and stuff kind of started, maybe that definitely had like an impact. And B, I also feel like just the popularity of live streaming in recent years has just like people aren't making long form content anymore. They're like live streaming and then chopping it up for YouTube, but they're not YouTubers.
They're not YouTubers.
They're live streamers, you know?
Yeah.
At least in the gaming scene. That's not to say about
I mean, there's still a
everything.
few for me. Like, there's still a few creators who still make like Vanos Crew. Like, they still make content, like regular content. I mean, some of them stream, but some of them still make actual YouTube content. And like for me, what I've been lately going. I mean, before I used to, but now I'm getting back into it. Is like video game documentaries. Like I've ate that shit up. Like it's like a 30 to 45 minute shit. And I'll have dinner and I'll just eat them. I'll just eat and like watch.
I usually fall asleep to stuff like that.
Really?
I put my Mac right on my like stool right there next to my bed, and I just put one of those up. And then I usually fall asleep.
Those are so video game documentaries. I've been like anything video game related, and it's a documentary. I don't even play the game or not even involved. I'm like shit. I'll watch it. Fuck it. So, you know, there's that was your weekly news for today. So now hopefully it's not as sad as. Let's hope next week is not as sad.
So now we will be cutting to the main segment with our interview of the QOR Gang. So this is the QOR Gang. Would everyone like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Angie or Soupberries, and what I do? I'm staff, and I'm the Valorant team manager, and I'm the owner's assistant, so I do it all.
Yeah, my name is Kyle Ocean. I'm one of the coaches of the Valorant team. Just about 3-4 months ago I came on, and yeah,
nice.
That's me, baby.
I'm Matt, also does Slow, also coaching this team. Been with them for a good amount of time, I think since like the summer, and yeah, that's just me.
Do any of you guys have backgrounds that have absolutely nothing to do with esports?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in other jobs previous to probably like 2.5, 3 years ago before I started coming back to Valorant. I was working at a homeless shelter for just about almost 2 years. So I was just like a shift lead there doing support work, running like the overnight crew, just dealing with people that have addiction issues, mental health issues, people that are struggling. And basically it was an 80-person shelter that just provided like a safe place for people to use substances and not be in the limelight and the public. So that was a little bit of what I did previous. And I worked at a nightclub for like 10 years too. So
yeah.
Okay, just add that on the side.
The shelter's got actually they both got good stories.
Wait, so what? Well, you said a nightclub, but where were you exactly at a nightclub?
I was like the manager at the front door. So we just like run the full outside. Actually, first I got them to like sponsor. It's funny, long time ago. Pauly D was coming to the nightclub, and they got like 2,000 hits, and they were like super like excited about that. And I just like overheard their conversation about like analytics on there, and I was just like, back then I was like, it was Counter-Strike 1.6. I was like, yo, pay like our league fees. I think they were like $40 each, and I was like, I'll get you like 10,000 hits. So basically, I just like talked to my bosses, let them know. They gave me a little bit of money. They got a crazy amount of hits, and then long story short, they ended up like supporting us. So we went to like China for the World Finals, and in Texas in like 2012 for ESC invite. They ended up cutting a few checks for us to like be able to get there. Nothing crazy, $500-$750, just enough to like get us there. And you know, I mean, gaming back then wasn't where people were making tens of thousands. Yeah, this was like working normal jobs, trying to swindle my bosses to give us money to travel like out of the country to go to tournaments, right? And so yeah, that's just a little bit about me and previous.
I'm not as cool as you. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna top that. But I used to play a lot of volleyball. So I mean, like, I'm so young. I have like no experience. But in high school and middle school, like, I grinded volleyball like all the time. I made like varsity, whatever. I thought I was gonna go to college like to play volleyball, and then I got hurt. My own teammate hurt me. Yeah. But if I never got hurt, I would never be doing what I'm doing now. So like, it all works out.
So are you saying you're happy you got hurt?
Okay, I'm not happy I got hurt.
She got hurt. She was like, thank God.
Okay, to be honest, a little bit. I was like, thank God, because I had been doing it for so long, and I kind of like fell out of love with it. It became like kind of like a chore. So like, she kind of made the choice for me, and I kind of like appreciate that. Yeah, she kind of forced it on me, but I kind of appreciate that I didn't have to make the choice.
As we're in the hospital, like, thank you for injuring me. You changed my life.
Yeah, I was
The
like,
whole trajectory of
Thank
my
God.
life was altered.
no,
the
seriously, but if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am now.
I'm also pretty young. I mean, I'm still doing school, but I just pretty much I used to like write articles on like Valorant, right? And it's like I used to just like break down teams played and all of that, and then like one thing led to another. Ocean just was reading one, I guess, or someone on Knights, whatever the old team I was on, and then they're just like, you know what? Yeah, we don't care that you're young, but we just want to join our team and just like help with like some analyst stuff. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much just all I've been doing since like 15, which is kind of crazy.
Nice.
And I don't know, I've just been watching Valorant a lot.
I think everyone has like their own different like unique way of like they got in here. Like Angie, like she used to play volleyball. You were at a nightclub, and then you were like you're still in school, and you still like bounce around here and there. So it's like everyone like there's no one way you guys got in here. Everyone got their own like different path. One of the questions I'm actually curious. I mean, you guys can all answer this. Who is the hardest and easiest person to work with in QOR? It can be player, manager, owner, anybody.
I'll get fired first. It's Nadine. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh. I'm leaving it.
That's the hardest or easiest?
I'm
Hardest or
editing this
easiest?
one.
Left that
I'm
open.
leaving it
Left
in.
that open for interpretation right there. You guys gotta. In your experiences, no, I'm just kidding. The hardest person. I wouldn't necessarily call them like the hardest person to work with, but I think the person on the team that has like the strongest personality would be like T-Dog, our in-game leader. So I think like me being an in-game leader for like so many years, I think we both have like certain ways we like to play it. So I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's more challenging with him because it's deeper than just saying one or two sentences to each other. We can like sit there for like hours and like battle each other about how we think the game should be played or this or that, right? So I think just like coming to a common ground is really good. But I would say that like for me he gives me the most challenge, but
Yeah, I was wondering, like, because you guys say you guys have battle heads, have you ever had like a way where like you both thought opposite and you like, for example, like he suggested one way to do things and you suggested another, and you're like, you know what, T-Dog, we'll do your way and we'll see how it works, and it turns out fine.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I think it's just one of those things that like anybody on the team at any point can say anything. If they want to try something, we'll try it. It's not like my way or Travis's way or T-Dog for the like. It's not like that. It's more just finding out how we can like maximize our team and then going with it and trying different things, because certain teams on like past teams will not work on your new team. So you need to like problem solve through new strategies, through new like so many different things of finding out how to like unlock your team. So I think that's like, I think when you've only had like been on, not that he's been only one or two successful teams, but he doesn't have a ton of experience. So that's where I like to try to like come in, let him say his piece of like what he believes that is like best, and then I kind of will just like tell him what I think over the last like 20 years of being in like esports of like what I feel like the best, right? And then trying to come to like a common ground. But yeah, no, he's a good communicator too, so we just go back and forth and try stuff, and we never just say like no to each other, like no, we're not trying that, or like it's never like that. It's just like problem solving together to figure out what would be the best like for us and what can make us the best team. And then the easiest person, I mean, it might even be Angie, to be honest. I don't know. Slow's
really cool.
I mean, Slow's pretty easy to work with too. Like, I don't think. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the people like on this specific team are like pretty easy to work with. I think that was like one of the reasons for me wanting to like come here, to be honest. I'll just say like one of my last teams, there was a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going.
Yeah. You want to spill anything? Any inside information?
Yeah, I mean, we went 0-10. That's all you got to spill, right? But no, it's just like it's just different teams have different dynamics, and there's different players that are harder to work with, easier to work with, and I think like my last team was one of the harder teams to work with. But do you sacrifice that sometimes for people having like better skill and those kinds of things? Like I think you 100% do, right? So, but for me, this team, I think it's a lot easier with the personalities I already know coming in here, and people that I've met so far have been good, so I haven't had really any problems, to be honest. But yeah,
I mean, I'd say I'm in the same boat with Ocean, where it's like, I mean, this team, everyone's just like super eager to grind, everyone wants it really bad, so it's like pretty easy just work with them, because like everyone is like just super set on improving and stuff like that. I wouldn't say anyone's like really difficult. I mean, the same stuff applies to like me and Travis, where he has like ideas they're super passionate about. I have like some ideas I like, and it's like just like not really butting heads, but just like trying to come to a conclusion that like benefits the team. But overall, it's like still healthy discussion. It's not like nah, my way is the highway or something like that. We're all just trying to win here, so it doesn't matter with like what strats we're doing or like what play we do. Like as long as it's just like whatever play ends up being better, I mean it's cool. I don't care who made it. It's just the team anyway. So yeah, I'd say everyone's like pretty great to work with. I like I don't know. I like working with like players like Zeldris and Ziff, for example, because they're just pretty easy going. They're like super active to learn or something like that. If like you give them like any ideas, they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do this or I want to try it. So I mean, it's really cool all around.
For me, I would agree that like Travis or T-Dog is like the hardest to work with. He's just like his opinions are very strong. And like, but I really like that about him. That I feel like that's his strength, but also sometimes his weakness. He's just like sometimes a little bit aggressive about things. And then okay, I'm just gonna say, I know Ocean was joking about it, but Nadine sometimes it's hard to work with. Okay, but in the best way. She has so many ideas, and I feel like I also have a lot of ideas. So sometimes we're like bashing heads a little bit, but it's really great like perspective because we really do understand each other and like we just want the best for each other and like the org and things like that. But sometimes our ideas are like clashing, if that makes sense. Yeah, but she's great to work with. Yeah, but the idea part is we clash a little bit.
It's good though. Some of those people can be like the best people to work with though, that like push each other to go like further and have ideas and like alley-oop on next idea to like pushing people. And I mean, for me, that's those people like that like push you or like put resistance against you, like make you think twice and like can sometimes make you think a little like deeper into stuff and understand each other or like the subject better, whatever it is.
I agree. Well, also just like going off of that, I really appreciate that there are so many older people around me because they have so many different like ideas and takes, and the way their like persona is or like the way they handle things is so much different than like how I personally would. So it's really eye-opening to be in the position I am, especially at like such a young age. And I feel like within the team, for example, like Ocean and Ziff, they're like a little bit on the older side, okay? And it really like
wait, hold on, how old is Ziff?
He's
just like 26, 27?
Yeah.
Hold on, 26, 8, 27 ain't that old. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's not in the gaming age that's starting to like you're coming into your like final form there, 27, 28. That's like
that's true.
You got a few chapters left there, not a lot to write a new book.
What about you, Ocean? If you're
I mean my book just keeps going, so
But yeah, there's a lot of balance there with age.
I know the Valorant community is overall like a younger demographic, so it's like it's for you. It's like eye-opening for the most part to be around like older generation. Like it's more just like how to approach things and like it helps you out in that way. Has that helped you out being like to like manage and stuff when you first came into the core?
I like everything I've learned. I had like no idea what I was doing. I didn't realize that like I could ask people for help. I was literally just like winging everything. And that is so like young and dumb of me. I wish I was like man enough to like be mature enough to ask for help. I just didn't really realize that I had like those kind of resources. So I wish I was like more mature about handling things in the past, and like I wish I had someone to like help me. But I was like too shy to like go out of my way and like get that kind of help. So like being around mature people definitely helps. And just like dealing with people, sometimes like I don't even know what to like say or like respond to this person. Like this person's being a dick to me and I want to tell them like to fuck off, but Nadine's like just chill, just ignore it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially on Twitter. People get a little feisty.
I mean, for example, Ocean, you say you've been in for like a long time, but when you first entered it, did you ask for help, or was it because the scene was so young there was nobody to ask for help?
Yeah, I mean there wasn't really as many. Yeah, it was like $100 to like $1,000 tournaments like back then. So yeah, I mean you're pretty much just like the scene was just so new that you basically just had to like be able to learn how to like support yourself and like your teammates and that kind of like stuff. Yeah, there wasn't this big system of like coaches didn't even start coming in till like I don't even know. Actually, I don't even know when coaches specifically started coming in, but I know it wasn't like very early on in like the early 2000s. Like there was people that could like maybe help you from other teams, but like you didn't have like a specific coach. So I think it was just, there was no support system back then. It was like you created your own support system, which is like somewhat I do now on like my teams. Just like having a support system for like everybody, not just like one person dictating like everything. So kind of learning things from like real life too, and just applying them to like gaming too. But back then, like a lot of people weren't as serious too. So like people weren't making careers out of this and stuff. This was like a weekend. I'd like tell my boss I need to go. And be like, okay, then I'd tell him the next weekend. He'd be like, yo, why are you always going? I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to like tell this guy like that I'm gaming, right? Then all of a sudden the third time I'm also like, dude, why do you keep going there? And I'm like, he's like, you selling drugs or something like that? I'm like, jeez. I'm like, no, dude. I was like, I play video games like for a tournament. Yeah.
It would probably easier to explain it.
Yeah, no, and then no, it would have been, especially in that like scene. And then he's just like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. Like, so yeah, just. For me, I just building like my own support systems because there wasn't really. It's not to the degree it is now, where I have Angie, I have Slow, potentially I have other coaches, I have like all of my teammates. Before it was just like me relying on all my teammates if I needed like support, and I would say like most of my teammates I couldn't like if I would have tried to go too hard on teammates, it would just been like setting them up for failure. So I think there was like maybe individual players on my team that I could like kind of trust a little more, kind of like a co-captain, kind of like thing like that. And I think that's like kind of how I started to like build my support system.
What's your favorite parts about your job?
Ooh,
working from home, baby.
Yeah,
that's a big part of it. Never having to like commute or anything like that, or like, for example, if like I'm just. I don't know. I'd say it's really nice to be able to just like, first off, just sit at the computer all day and like actually watch what I'd be doing if I wasn't getting paid. I'd still be watching Valorant or like watching video games because it's really fun, like, and also just playing too. So it's like I get to do it, but it's like, oh, should I get paid to do it? So I think just in general, being allowed to just do what I'd already be doing anyway is like the best part about it. And also, like, just seeing the team improve as well, that's a big part of it, where it's like, it's a big part of it where it's like, how do I say it? Like, just seeing the team evolve, kind of, where it's just like, we are getting better, we're beating better teams, stuff like that, and then it's just really satisfying to see, like, pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I was joking a little bit about I do like working from home, but it's definitely not my most favorite part of the job. I would say my most favorite part of the job is just working with people and watching them develop. And really seeing people just take what I give them and like run with it. Like there's certain players that will like listen to you, but like don't take it as much in consideration as they like once should. So I think for me, it's like refreshing to find people that really want to try to like get better and not just kind of like coast by. I think from like Counter-Strike and even like start of Valorant, I think some of like the best players that have been on my teams are developed, or there's people that just care the most. And like try the most. And I think the more that I see like someone trying and putting in more work and doing that, I think it just makes everybody just want to try harder. That like, oh, this guy's coming on like 30 minutes before practice to like look at this or do that, or hey, this guy's staying with an extra like 30 minutes after practice just to like chit chat with me. So I think that's like one of my favorite parts is just watching people grow, because I feel like I have a decent skill set to try to enable people to like be the best player or even like person of themselves. So I think when I like fully see people like grasp onto that, that's like probably what makes me want to come back like each day and not think of it so much like as a job, more just like developing people and players. And like, who knows, you could be starting from the bottom, or and then you could just end, I mean, I don't want to say the cliche thing, but you know what I mean? It really is. How much work you put into it is really going to be like what comes out of it. So for me, that's like my favorite, I would say.
But yeah, just seeing like, it's like, it goes back to the question, is like, it was like better having a coachable player.
Oh, for sure.
Easier. And then like also like, I mean, you also said like you, having a coachable player, having a coachable team, like, brings like you'd rather have that than just have a player that's cracked out of their mind and then like
it's
results, and then it doesn't like for example, you said that one of the reasons you came to QOR was because of this, is because you came and like, oh, everyone's coachable, everyone's easier, it's better than your last team, when it came to that situation.
Yeah,
So-
at least the attitudes will say that much.
Wait, what was it?
No, I just said we'll say at least the attitudes will say that much. That the
There's less
SEs are better
focusing
here.
on stuff. Or there's more
Yeah.
focusing on stuff.
Coaching teams and different teams, like different dynamics of where the team is at, right? Is a team like barely know how to play together and they're like a tier 3 team, or like are they a tier 1 team and they just need those final like fine shavings to like put them like over the edge to be a world-class team? So I think it just like depends on, each coaching job is unique, different sets of people, different sets of circumstances, like everything. So me, it's just like kind of finding out where the team is and like bringing them to like a certain level so that
Do
everyone
you guys
can kind of excel.
like it? Do you guys find it more fun or enjoyable to coach a team that's like inexperienced but are hungry, or experienced?
Yeah,
like,
that's like, yeah, I would say.
Oh, no,
that's one of,
100%. Like,
That's like,
there you go.
I was just gonna say, for me, that's like one of the like main things that I've like just done was, I was never a fan of like, way back in the day, people would just like keep recycling the same talent over and over. It was like an old boys club, like you just weren't getting in. You like, the only way you were getting in is if you qualified with 5 new people with a new pro team and like got into those channels back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? But like now it's way different, and I didn't like how that like these same, I'm not gonna say old people, but the same people with the same mistakes doing the same thing on the next team, and like it's just like you're just watching a train wreck happen. So for me, I think just giving younger players a platform to like play on, and that they just like listen to you. I'm not saying, I mean, each is like different, because don't get me wrong, I've had some players that are like top players in the world that listen to me very like a lot, right? But then there's other players that are not. So, but generally speaking, like someone that hasn't been there and hasn't experienced will, in a way, like trust you and lean on you like a little more.
I see like a lot of parallels to like the first team I was on, like Knights, where it's like a lot of young, hungry players, and like all those, like most of those guys are like, I mean, even Ziff's on this team right now, but it's like, for example, like 2 of the players on that team are like franchise level, or like one's in franchising, one's like top challengers. So it's just like seeing these players like improve, either with like if it's with us or like afterwards. It's just like the really most satisfying thing, especially like seeing the team improve, where it's like, okay, they were doing this mistake before, like, oh, we're like messing up this aspect of the game. Then like just with a bit of coaching and a bit of like review, then like the next day we're like working hard at it, and then we just improve. That's like just super satisfying to see. So I mean, that's like the best part about it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good answer compared to like the beginning till now. I mean, do you guys think you guys have made a lot of improvements? I mean, I know like the 5th hasn't been announced yet, but do you guys think that you guys have like a genuine like contender to be like not only qualify for the Ascension, but also like win the whole thing throughout, or is it just like more, or like we'll see day by day and everything? Like from a scale from like 1 to 10, like how confident do you guys feel like you are right now, or is there still a little of improvements going on?
I mean, for me, I mean, I'm confident, but it's just a day by day thing. I'm not like too worried about like 3 months ahead of this. Like, who knows? Like, we know how fast esports moves, right? Like, am I here? Are you here? Is anybody here? Is a team here? Is this right? There's a lot of the crazy questions, right? So
yeah,
for me, I just like living in it like day to day, because at any point, I think you could just be like, oh, you're just like done, right? And it's like, had all these like big things about like a month away, no, this month, like I just needed to get there, you know what I mean? So it's more for me just like day by day, working with people, getting them better. The harder like you work with people and the more work they put in, like the more confident like everybody will be like to qualify. So no, I'm definitely like super confident we'll qualify for sure. I've done it with my last 2 teams. So
like which team minus like, do you think like M80 and like all of them, they're like, do you think M80 is the biggest challenge?
Yeah, that's I'd say the M80 is probably the biggest challenge right now. They just got a lot of players with experience, and once your team's been playing together for 6 months, a year, you start building like chemistry on like a big level. So I think just the amount of experience they have together and how far they went last year, I mean, those are like, in a way, teams that you want to like aspire to be, of having a roster that can stay together for like a year or longer, not have to like re-go over all these basic things with a new team. It's just, you know, your same people that you've been through the same battles with, and like they know what to do when you get to that point. And I think that's like a big thing. So yeah, definitely for me, probably M80 is definitely taking the front runner, but who knows? It's so open, right? But
yeah,
looking in right now, I would definitely say that, yeah.
There's a lot of the turtle. I mean, the Turtle Troop core is still there. I don't know what other team has disbanded. I feel like a lot of teams disbanded.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think everyone fully even knows yet until like spots are allocated or all the So I think everyone's just kind of at like a tippy toe point right now of what teams or rosters are going to be coming in. But I mean, obviously there's rules, and they'll have to have a certain amount of people returning from the previous seasons to still obtain their spot, right? So
Yeah. I mean, Angie also can add into this. Do you guys like, if you can give like maybe for someone who's new to esports, like how does it happen when like a team were just like 180s and like maybe like a player leaves like out of nowhere? Is this like more like, do you guys like, I mean, if you guys have a lot of experience, I feel like, do you guys like, can you give us an insight on how it usually happens? Because everyone's always confused. Like I remember 2 years ago or so when like the Baby J, he got cut after a month from 100 Thieves. Like everyone was like, how did that happen? Like he was only here for a month and everything and he got cut. So
I mean, I'd say a team like that, I mean, that's like a pretty like a unique case where like the org kind of like pushed it. But like the main thing like Pete's fans like kind of don't realize is like every single player is in the call with each other for 8 hours every single day. So it's like where some stuff seems like, oh, why did this player get kicked, or like why this thing happened, or why this change happened, it like just so out of the blue, or it's like stuff builds up into it. Like I mean, I've seen it on my own teams, seen it on different teams. It's just like sometimes like I feel like even esports, you probably spend more time with each other than you do in like professional sports. Genuinely, it's a smaller group. You're not like with a 20-man roster or whatever. It's like you just have your 5, your coach, your analyst, whatever, and your staff, and it's just like you guys are locked in together for hours, right? So when something's not going to work, it builds, and then eventually like it comes to a point. So yeah, that's one thing fans don't really like see, because they don't see like all the hours of practice, all of that kind of conversation, all like the struggles. Like they may see we're doing well in matches, for example, or doing bad in matches, but they don't know like what's actually going into it. So yeah.
To add on to that, like you were saying, the environment is very intimate. They're with each other for so many hours, and outside of those practice hours, people are also developing like friendships. So there's like a lot of relationship building, and you know, like when you just see somebody and you're just like, oh, I don't think I like you actually, after you like spend some time with them. I feel like it's kind of like maybe something like that kind of happens, but almost like in my experience personally, 90% of the time the players are asking for that person to be kicked or removed from the team. In my experience, it's always the players making that kind of decision.
That's always wondering. I know every org is a little different, but like, so it's always like the players. It's never usually like, hey, I don't like this coach, I want him out of here, or like I don't like the coach doesn't like this player, or this player doesn't like this coach. Or is it like usually does the owners even get involved and be like, hey, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think each team has a different dynamic for sure.
Like, for example, like a team like, I'd say, I mean, that 100 Thieves example, like I know like Nate, I was like, okay, this team's not working, so it's like we gotta change it up, and that's kind of like what happened with the Baby J kind of situation. But it's like a lot of the time it comes to a point where it's like, okay, players are like going to the management or something like that. Like I mean, it's happened in different rosters, or like for example, coaches like, okay, this player's not gonna work. So it's just kind of like different parties are like, okay, they've seen it happen, like the team like work, and it's just like, okay, this is not going to pan out for the long term. So it's like eventually it gets brought up in meetings and stuff like that. Then maybe like owners notice it when they like tune in or like see in a boot camp. So it's just like it comes from all kinds of different parties, but like it's just case by case, org by org.
Like for example, in QOR, I'm always involved. Like I always hear about the situation and I give input. We always try to like involve the other staff. So for example, if we were to drop someone, God forbid, we were to drop somebody, I would know about it, Ocean would know about it, Slow would know about it, the owners would know about it. Everybody like gives input on this group decision. And it's not just one person's choice. It never is that way. But you know, sometimes there's always like a person that's pushing more than others, that kind of thing. For example, we were trialing a few coaches like a while back. We had such bad luck with coaches for a long time. I'm
here.
I know, literally like a light shining, Ocean came. But a while ago when we did our first Vegas LAN, we had a coach trialing for us, and the boys were like, I don't think I really like this guy, but we're gonna give him another 2 weeks. And I was like, guys, shut the fuck up. He needs to go. Just like move on. It's okay. You know, you're not hurting anybody's feelings. Like, okay, no crying in esports. Literally, like, shut up and move on. Like that kind of thing. Yeah. Like I know it sucks, but at the same time, you're making it worse for yourself and you're wasting like your time with them.
you should never let like issues dwell in the team. Like if something's like not happening, you address it immediately. Like you have a sit down meeting and see if like you can resolve it. If not, then like you just go make steps past that, because like you're just kind of wasting your time there, right? And like seasons are short in esports, especially. It's like you have like a few months, and then it's just like every week kind of matters. Where it's like, okay, we get reps with like a new guy or a new coach, whatever, and it's just like, yeah, you need to prioritize that instead of like just okay, we can kind of like just grind it out when it's like it's not gonna happen. So
Yeah, it's not like the NBA or NFL where it's like trust the process, you know.
Yeah, trust the
all of that.
I mean, if you see like teams in NBA too, they're like, okay, we can't deal with this guy, and then like there's like actual roster luck or whatever. So it's like then that's when issues happen. But like this game, it's open, so it's like you might as well take the opportunity as soon as possible.
Exactly.
Make yourself better.
Okay.
All right, we're running over, so we'll go to the fun questions. Out of all the players on the team, which one do you think you guys could take in a fight?
I'm going first. I'm taking everyone. Easy. 5v1. No, I'm kidding. If I'm thinking about this from like, I'm actually like thinking through this. Let's see. I think Michael Nine Nerve. I think I have weight on him, but he's shorter. He's still pretty jacked, but I mean, I'm just gonna go for this. If he goes for the knees, it's over. Let's see, Zeldris, he's taller than me, but I got muscle over him. I'm winning that one. Ziff, I don't know. Ziff's pretty tall, and like, I'd say he's not built, but he's like, I mean, yeah, that one's going 50-50. I'm not even gonna think about Ocean. That's like that's a mismatch. Travis, and also like T-Dog. I mean, he wins that. He's just bigger, just stronger. Difficult. Am I forgetting something? Nate? I think I'd take Nate too. So I'm saying at least I'm confident with like everyone but Travis. Like I think he got the size advantage, like weight advantage. Like that's a mismatch. I'd say I pass this question to Ocean because I want to see what he has to say about this.
I would say just give me everyone one at a time, and I'll handle all the.
Dang.
You think you could take everybody one at
This wasn't not everybody at once. Okay, not everybody at once, but just give me a gladiator.
They're gonna see this, and then next practice you'd be like, all right, what's going on now?
Next land, it's just over. Just like in the rain.
It's on site.
We gotta get a bag going, and we gotta settle it.
Yeah. No, to be honest, by like the third person, I'd be gassed as hell. So.
Okay.
But you're saying you could take at least two.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, I don't think this was mentioned on the podcast. Ocean's 6'6". I don't know how much you weigh now, but like he's a big body. He was about
6'6".
Yeah, he's a big body. It's gonna be rough.
Decent size.
All right. I think we have one final question. So this is like from the Inting podcast. So we have a special question me and Danny love to ask every guest. What is your thoughts on bidets?
I mean, I don't know. I think they're pretty. I think they're good. I don't know. I don't have one or anything like that. But I don't hate them. I don't know if I want water in my bum, but bidet.
Wait, the day?
Oh.
Bidet.
No, bidet.
Like water in your ass?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's super hygienic though. So I mean,
Exactly.
I think it's like I think it's like
me and Danny have been having this beef ever since we started this because he always insults me for having one, and then we're like, you know what? We're gonna ask every guest who comes on, and we're gonna ask their opinion on it.
I never tried a bidet, but like it seems pretty fire. I mean,
This guy won't shit if there's no bidet.
Oh yeah, I have a rule. I don't.
Really?
What do you do?
You gotta be adaptive, bro. You gotta be adaptive.
Yeah.
What about something wipes or something like that? I know that's another alternative for like
Oh yes.
people that are a little more.
Wet wipes
doesn't-
clog the toilet.
It's definitely.
Don't do that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no. I don't I'll hold that in unless there's a bidet. I don't shit.
What if you're about a
Explode.
zebra stripe in your underwear? What do you do?
I gotta hold it. I've held it before.
How old are you?
physically can't.
How old are you right now?
I'm 23.
Yeah, just wait.
Just wait till there's not a bidet around the corner.
What are you?
No, I'm saying just wait till you can hold it right now, but just wait till you get a little older. We'll say that much, all right?
Ocean's like the point where he gets
You're
an
fucking
accident every
23
week.
right now. Come back in 2034 and let's have the same conversation. Literally, we'll run this back and tell me if you're still able to fucking be a legend like
So
that.
Ocean, you always keep an extra pair of pants on you. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
definitely, yeah. Or I just
We're
fucking
gonna see him in lands with
Every
like a
week.
2-day event
Every
with
week.
6 pairs of pants.
Or I just fucking have no underwear on.
Bro,
You have a diaper, that's why.
The diaper's a power play right there.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I can't hold it. I'm just saying, just wait.
My gosh.
You'll be stuck somewhere.
It's just gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you guys for coming on.
having
Do you
us.
guys have anything you want to?
thank you.
I mean, you're part, of course. So if you guys have any hype, do you guys want to let the fans know about the upcoming season? That's in what, February?
Yeah, it's at the end of January. Yeah, no, I mean we're just been grinding the last like 3-ish months. I mean even longer to be honest. I don't even know what it's now. It's just stacking up. But yeah, no, we've just been grinding every day and trying to make the team better and make this qualification stage. And yeah, I mean everything will be posted on like Twitter too. So if you follow all the guys' links or even just QOR's links, everything will be broadcasted or you'll be able to find the necessary things to watch us.
Also,
play.
follow at Slow is Cool on Twitter because best tweets, best
Yeah.
shameless plug. I mean, you gotta do
You're
it.
good.
Yeah.
Wait, and at Super Ace too. Don't forget that part.
It's alright. We'll add all your Twitters on the description below. It's alright.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Wait, I do want to say though, challengers, like, you know, while we're like trying to qualify all that, there's gonna be more content pieces from your favorite core players. There's gonna be more skits.
Okay.
Just saying, look forward to that. A lot more content.
TM.
Yeah,
Or
soon.
Travis is gunning for an Emmy, so
Yeah.
I mean, damn. What
Yeah,
can't
he's
he
in,
do?
he's in all the skits. He was in Hour.
What?
Yeah.
What
no,
can't
he's
he
actually
do?
he's actually just the greatest director of skits. Like at Land, like just
No, seriously.
just like no, he was so good at that. I was like, what?
I know,
Every
and he
content
acts
goes
in his
is-
own skit.
I don't know, it's actually just like multi-talented person. Just the goat.
Seriously.
He excelled in drama class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for coming on. And
Yeah,
you for
appreciate it, guys.
listening. Everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
no
you.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we're back. So hope you guys like to enjoy that interview. Yeah, it's weird because we did that. I was actually sick that day, so me and Danny decided to do it through Discord. So I didn't want to like infect him. So,
I'm
yeah.
sick anyways.
You didn't tell me?
Yeah.
Damn.
So
now we have
what are
what-
we playing?
We've been playing
This-
Tarkov low-key. I think that's the most game we've been played lately. So I think this,
New
is, your,
wipe.
this is your first wipe? Or
No, this is technically my second wipe that I played, but
this is
first
your,
one I played like for a couple of days and I was like, I don't like this game. So,
So-
this is really like my second attempt at Tarkov.
Yeah. So this is but this wipe I don't know why, but this wipe feels a lot different because of so much they've added to the game. But in this, I think this is the best Tarkov has felt in a very long time. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
haven't
fun.
played it, but it's a lot of fun. If people don't know what Escape from Tarkov is, it's a loot and shooter.
Looter shooter.
You would call it. So you would extract, go into a map.
I would say it's almost more a survival shooter than a looter shooter.
Yeah, okay.
Because like you can get the loot in the raid, but most of it that is from killing other players. Like a looter shooter would be like Destiny.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll say
I would say this is a survival shooter, but like
This is a
looting, like most of the good shit you get comes from you buying stuff from people after the raid, right?
Yeah.
Unless you kill someone for it,
or if I
but
get in game, yeah.
it's like you don't open a crate and like the best snipers in the game in it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I'd say it's a survival shooter.
So it's a survival shooter, but this game is very realistic. So like it tries to go in the realistic aspect of it, where like, for example, if you get shot in the leg and your leg is like 0 HP, you're gonna start limping and you can't run anymore. So then you would have to do is you have to take
You have to like sew yourself back together.
and then you would have to heal, and then if you're in pain, if your character shows he's in pain, you have to take painkillers. Then you have to worry about if you're dehydrated, if you have enough energy, your character is affected, and then you also like if you run a lot or if you carry a lot of heavy, there's strength and heal XP that you have to worry about. So like it's a lot of management. If you ever play a game like Arma 3, it's like that, but it's like more like it's a little like
individual based.
yeah, it's a more individual base. So it's like a lot then there's like bosses where it's like more realistic, and there's like you have to worry about which bullet goes to which gun. Like a 9x9mm wouldn't go into like an AK, or not 9x19 wouldn't go into an AK. You have to go to a pistol. And it's a lot of it's like a lot of things. And what my favorite part is like we call it Tetris, where you go back to after you get loot, you have to like fix your inventory, and it's just for 20 minutes of us just managing our inventory and what to sell on or not. But game is actually very fun. It's a breath of fresh air when it comes to that.
Good game.
Very good game. And then we ended off with, I think we have that.
Core news.
Core news. So by the time this episode comes out, our official 5 have been announced. And Zeldris is now our 5th player of the news. So we're officially locked in. All 5 players have been announced. And our new, if you guys don't know, the Challenger qualifier starts January 31st. That's the first qualifiers. That's when everyone qualifies for the closed Ascension thing. And so I don't know exactly if they're doing it like previous year, but how it works is stop. How it goes previously is an open qualifier, top 4, I believe, like last year. You go into the closed qualifier, and the closed qualifier, you guys play like a round robin and like and group stage, and then you go to the playoffs, and then so this is for Americas at least. That there's a North American, there's a South American, and then I think
there are 2 Americas.
There are 2 Americas. So then, in the playoffs, after the top 4 of each region, they go and play against each other, and then whoever wins from those regions wins. So last year was the Guard, is now G2. They won last year, now they're in franchising, and yeah, it's literally a year-long process. So and I heard this year is supposed to be even longer, so it's more friendly for people, so it's easier, so it's. Hopefully. So watch Core. Make sure to watch Core on the 31st. And that's all for the news so far for Core. But
that's everything.
That is everything. Thank you guys for watching. And hopefully next week we're actually going to have the players on. So make sure to tune in for that. We're going to have the players on for next week. And you get to meet all the players and get to know everybody.
Yep.
So see you guys next week. Follow us on all socials and everything will be in the description below. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.